This GameSir G7 Pro 8K isn't even worth it if you don't set it up properly, because a lot of people will get these controllers and not know how to set it up to make it the most responsive you possibly can. Like, don't get it twisted. Straight out of the box, this controller is amazing, but to really unlock it to its full potential, you want to download the GameSir Connect software, because this is where you can put it to an 8,000 hertz polling rate. If you don't think your PC can handle it, you can put it on 4,000. This is still going to give you better latency than like 99.99999% of controllers. I mean, this thing is fucking fast. The main reason though why people think their controller is delayed is because they don't have the right thumbstick settings. So you can see that on both thumbsticks I have the same settings, where I lower down the initial dead zone all the way to 0, and then in game I also have 0 right stick minimum dead zone. However, I don't have any stick drift. That's because these thumbsticks on here are the Gen 2 TMR thumbsticks that GameSir uses on the G7 Pro 8K, so you could literally run no dead zone and have no drift. That's gonna make it insanely responsive. You could also mess around with the curve adjustments. The only thing I would recommend doing is just making sure that whatever you set in the software is not going to interfere with your in-game curve adjustments. Like, for example, in-game I run a dynamic curve, so that's why I just keep the GameSir curve adjustment on default, because you don't want it stacking on top of each other. Now, I would definitely recommend putting on the raw setting, especially for the right stick. The left stick, it doesn't really matter. For the right stick though, it's going to give you the best outer radial dead zone, and for sure the 12-bit. I mean, the 12-bit feels amazing on the G7 Pro. As far as the buttons though, you're also going to get extremely good button latency. Now, you could remap pretty much anything, including the remappable top bumpers as well as back paddles. I only remap my back paddles to B and A for like slide canceling. The triggers are also indeed mouse click triggers, so if you want to run the physical trigger stops, then you don't really have to mess around with anything in the software. But if you disable them because you don't like the trigger stop, essentially what you could do is enable digital hair triggers with these settings right here, where you lower down the initial and max on both triggers, as well as enable the adaptive hair trigger mode and do the same thing. And pretty much it's only going to take a fraction of the pull for something like your gun or your ADS to activate in game. It's super responsive. Now, the 3 settings though that you kind of just want to disregard is the gyro motion, unless you want to use it for some games, then obviously turn it on, but also the vibration, just lower it all the way down, as well as the lighting, just turn it off. Being completely honest, these are just like unnecessary features that shouldn't have been on this controller, because essentially all they do is just add extra strain, and you want to make sure you get the most out of that 8,000 hertz polling rate. So save this video so you can come back to it when you get the controller using the link down below, because especially the thumbstick settings, man, they make it feel so much more responsive. And I'll tell you what, man, this controller makes keyboard and mouse players very, very angry.